my name is Mattson, and at this maker moment today, we are going to be creating origami books. Now, I fell in love with bookbinding when I first took a bookbinding class in Telluride at the bookbinding school, but this is a little bit different. So let's see what materials we need and let's get started today. So to make our origami books today, there are some very important materials that you're going to need to assemble. First, you're going to want to find a kind of glue. I like to use glue sticks. I find them easier, but if all you have lying around the house is liquid glue, no problem there. You're also going to need some scissors, a ruler, a pencil to help with measuring things, and some various colorful paper or just some white copy paper. I have a bunch of scraps just lying around, so that's what I'm going to be using today. Let's get started. So to start, I'm going to find one of my pieces of colored paper, and I'm going to take my ruler and measure out 4 inches in my ruler, and take my pencil and make a mark. I'm going to do that this other way as well, just like this. We're going to be making our first box. Take your paper and start to roll fold it down until it meets this mark that you made at the top and this mark that you made at the side. Then you're going to crease it really nice, like that. I like to add an extra line here just so that I can see where my line is going. And then you can open back up and you see you'll have a perfect square there. Once you have your perfect 4 by 4 inch square, you can find your scissors and you can start to cut that right out of there. Just like that. Now, because I don't really want to go back and measure out all of my shapes again, I'm just going to take one of them that I already have made, and I'm going to place it down on top of my next color of paper, and then take my pencil and trace it. So I'm going to line it up really nice in any of the edges that I find, and I'm going to hold it down with 2 hands and carefully take my pencil over the top and trace it all the way around. And then when I lift it up, you should have another perfect square. And then you know what to do, you can cut it right out. You'll be ready for the next step when you have 1, 2, 3, 4 at least pieces of paper that are all cut out the exact same size. I wanted to have that 5th one in there just because it looks a little bit more like a rainbow, but you can choose how many pieces of paper you want, at least 4. So you can take your piece of paper and you'll roll fold it down from the top to the bottom. Now, roll folding is when you still have this bump showing up here, but when you've roll folded it all the way down to the bottom so it lines up really nice and straight with that bottom line, then you can hold it down with your finger and crease it or press down at that top line. You're going to open it up. It should look like a little book like this. But then you're going to roll fold it all the way down to the bottom line and crease it again. And last time, you're going to open it up. And this time, you're going to take this top edge and you're going to meet the bottom edge just like this. So when that top edge meets the bottom, you can hold it down with your finger and just lightly crease it. When you open it up, it should look something like this. You're going to flip it over and then press down into the middle like that. You might hear it pop up a little bit. Now you're going to take this crease that you can see right here and you're going to have it meet in the middle. This part gets a little bit tricky. So once it has met, it can be helpful to pinch it with your fingers like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to press down on the top so that the sides start to come out like this at those other crease points. Once you do that, you can just give it an extra little push down and it should look like a little square like this. Do that to all of your pieces of paper. Now that you have all of your pieces folded, it's time to find our glue again. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your first piece of paper that you want and open it back up a little bit so you can put some glue on one of the inside portions. You're going to then meet it with your next piece of paper. Watch how I knead it. I take it and I go the opposite direction so then it slides in and it should fit pretty perfectly in there, nice and snug. Press down and then you're ready to add the next one. To add your next piece of paper, do that same thing where you open it up a little bit, add a little daub of glue in the middle on that big one, and then you're going to knead it. So I look and I see, okay, I went in from the side like this, so I want to go in from this side this time. So it's the same angle as the red one. So I push in and then down. You should start to have a little bit of a book. Let's add the last two colors. Now, when you open up your book, it should look a little something like this. So there should be a couple corners, every other corner like this, or if you flip it over, then the corners are right here. But we are missing one thing. We're missing the cover to our book. So let's make a cover now. So now you're going to find whatever kind of paper you want to use for the cover, a pencil, and your ruler again. What you'll do is measure out from the side 2.5 inches one way and turn it and then do 2.5 inches the other way. Then, just like at the beginning, we're going to do that roll folding thing again, where you roll fold it until it meets those two lines, just like this, and then you crease it. I like to then take my pencil and draw a line like this, and another line like this. And when you open it up, it should make a square. Then you can find your scissors and cut it out. After you've cut out one square, you can just set it down on your paper and trace out that back side. Then you can take your scissors and cut it out again. If you were following along at home using white paper, when you created these boxes, what you could do is make different pictures for the front or the back. For mine, I chose to add a rainbow and the word sonríe, which means smile, on one side, and some ladybugs on the other side. You could have a front cover and a back cover that you draw yourself. Once you have your book made, it's up to you what you add to the inside. You can pop it open, grab a pen, pencil, or marker, and just go to town with making. What will you fill up your book with? We're almost done. Find your glue stick again and land a circle of glue in the middle of your piece of paper. And then what you're going to do is land that paper right on top of your book. You're going to do this for both sides, and once you've done it for both sides, you have a beautifully completed book. You're going to wait a couple minutes to let it dry, but nice work. Thank you for following along with this maker moment today. I first heard about origami bookmaking from my friend, colleague, and teacher, Jen Nelson, so thank you, Jen. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I would love to see whatever books that you end up binding or folding in the future.